as senior officials in the El-Rufai administration, which served the people of Kaduna State between May 2015 and May 2023, we restate our pride in the dedication and integrity of our service. We have previously described the report circulating on social media as an unprofessional document tainted by bias, exhibiting no serious interest in establishing facts. It is apparent to that report that it is riddled with inaccuracies and instances of falsification and misrepresentation of the testimonies provided by invited officials. There is a dissonance between its recommendation and the testimonies the ad hoc committee heard. It bears restating that its conclusion seemed to have been decided beforehand and were insulated from the facts. The report is an attempt to inflict maximum reputational damage on certain selected members of the Kaduna State Executive Council class of 2015 to 2023. The report indulges in the futility of plucking outlandish figures out of thin air in the hope of solidifying impressions of a scandalous and corrupt conduct. The figures seem only to have had the effect of mesmerizing the legislators who cite one amount here and then something different on exactly the same figure. To assist further understanding, we are attaching at the end of this document a detailed tabulation of comments and observations on the report of the ad hoc committee. We now take up issues from the recommendations in the report. On page 169, the ad hoc committee declared that the total amount of money siphoned by government of Kaduna State from 29 May 2015 to 29 May 2023 is 423 billion 115 million 28,072 naira 88 kobo. Quite aside from the comical claim that a government siphoned money, nowhere in the report is the trail of the allegedly siphoned funds shown. The report does not show how they arrived at this figure and how they decided that the money had been siphoned, how it was done, from which accounts, and to where. They just decreed a figure and declared it. This is the ad hoc committee in action, indulging in voodoo accounting just to concoct a scandal. We note that this same Kaduna State House of Assembly received and accepted the audited accounts of the state for each year from 2015 to 2022, but now wants the public to disregard the formal, legally and constitutionally recognized public accounts of the state in favor of its wishy-washy, malicious but incompetent and poorly calculated attempt at legislative character assassination. Scrutiny of the report easily shows that the ad hoc committee is inconsistent with the figures it cited as the domestic and foreign loans of the state. On page 168, the committee claimed that the total revenue that accrued to Kaduna State government between May 2015 and May 2023 is 1,497,682,993,375 naira and 758.1 million US dollars. Perhaps they meant 1.9 trillion, since the 1.497 billion written in the report is too funny to have been state government revenues over 8 years. Even this given correction, the report cites a contrary figure on page 137. The table on page 137, titled Summary of Receipt and Inflow to the State and Local Government from May 2015 to May 2023, puts the total revenue accruing to Kaduna State, that's the state and 23 local governments, over those 8 years at 1,236,080,191,080 naira 72 kobo. Column 2 of that table puts 424,416,878,102 naira 20 kobo as the local government share of the revenues. The state government's share of revenue at 811 billion 663,310,000 on page 138. Yet, by the time they got to page 168, the committee had adopted a different figure of 1,497,682,993,375 naira, without saying how and why. These contradictory figures within the same report illustrate the lack of consistency, credibility, and reliability of the so-called findings. The ad hoc committee alleges that a state government siphoned more than half of the 811.6 billion it got as revenues over 8 years, but it cannot even decide on the precise amount these total revenues were. The audited accounts of the state for 2015 to 2022 as certified by the Auditor General and submitted to the State House of Assembly, and the unaudited accounts up to 29 May 2023 provide the following figures. Total receipts, May 2015 to May 2023, 1,152,068,336,280 naira 23 kobo. Total expenditure for the same period, 1,320,507,917 naira 24 kobo. Budget deficit for the same period, 167,948,171,637. The audited accounts, together with the 5 months unaudited accounts for 2023, also provide a breakdown of the expenditures. Personnel cost, May 2015 to May 2023, 361 billion 615 million 995,004 naira. Overhead costs for the same period, 183 billion 973 million 434,766 naira 63 kobo. Capital expenditure for the same period, 838 billion 961 million 505,000 155 naira 32 kobo. Public debt charges for the same period, 7 billion 810 million 202,724 naira 86 kobo. The figures from the report and the summaries extracted from the audited accounts of the Kaduna State government can be summarized below to provide the falsity of the allegation of some fictitious siphonings of funds. Total inflows, state and 23 local governments, 1 trillion 236 billion 80 million 191,080 naira. Total inflows, Kaduna State government, 811 billion 663 million 310,000. Personnel costs, audited accounts, 361 billion 615 million 641,995 naira 4 kobo. Overhead cost, 183 billion 973 million 434,767 naira 63 kobo. Total recurrent expenditure, 545 billion 589 million 76,762 naira. Balance for capital projects, 266 billion. If the committee's total inflows above are correct, it means only 266 billion naira was available to the state government for all capital projects over 8 years. Even a blind man that visits Kaduna metropolis alone knows that the amount of development therein exceeds 266 billion naira. So, from where, how, when, and to where can 423 billion naira be siphoned? This allegation on page 169 is falsehood in aid of legislative defamation. Budget deficit over the 8 years period of the El-Rufai administration were obviously financed using foreign and domestic loans and grants in aid. The report begs the question as where the ad hoc committee obtained its figures for revenue, loans, and other findings separate from the published accounts of the Kaduna State government that were duly tabled before the House of Assembly as required by the Constitution. In a challenging environment, the El-Rufai administration did not lament its luck and construe governance as an endless exercise in blaming the past. Rather, it brought innovations and governance capacity to Kaduna State that accelerated the state modernization, supported human capital development, expanded its infrastructure, improved its business standing, and promoted equality of opportunity. The El-Rufai administration gave the state its first digital land registry, improved its tax receipts, and quadrupled internally generated revenue, and made unprecedented investments in infrastructure. Over the 8 years, it attracted United States dollars 5 billion in foreign and domestic investment that created jobs and laid a solid foundation for the future. Malam Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai stated in his farewell address on 29 May 2023 that, I quote, "We have spent 818.9 billion naira as capital expenditure between 2015 and 2022 in the prosecution of our first and second state development plans, attracting nearly United States dollars 5 billion in foreign and domestic investment that created jobs, improved our tax received, and laid a solid foundation for the future." He further disclosed that as at the last financial year, Kaduna State has the following liabilities: domestic debts, 64.54 billion, other contingent liabilities, 16.06 billion naira, foreign debts, United States dollars 577.32 million. The variation between these figures, publicly declared by the head of the departing administration, and those cited in the report, are for the current administration to explain. On 30th March 2024, at the town hall meeting that was used as the trigger for this public phase of the reputation tarnishing project, the head of the current administration in the state put the debt burden at $587 million, 885 billion naira. On page 168, the ad hoc committee put the external debt at 758.14 million, but also lists more than $2 billion in loans it claimed the El-Rufai administration took. We refer to pages 112 to 116 for the detailed submission. Further disbursement of loans between 1st January 2023 to 31st December 2023 may have taken the external debt stock higher than it was as of 31st December 2022. But the wide variance between the $587 million figure cited by Governor Obasani in March 2024 and the $758.14 million mentioned in the report of 5th June 2024 is significant. The variations between these figures, publicly declared by the head of the departing administration and those cited in the report, are for the current administration to explain. This House of Assembly Ad hoc Committee report acknowledges that the El-Rufai administration inherited external debt of $234 million in 2015, referred to page 168. The El-Rufai administration diligently applied the loans it received. The details of all loans negotiated and received before May 2023 are available in Kaduna State Planning and Budget Commission. It is dishonest to claim otherwise. It is easy to verify from the same source those loans that were agreed by the El-Rufai administration but which were not disbursed to the state before it exit. We state categorically that practically every project initiated or commissioned by the current administration in Kaduna State is based on programs begun under the El-Rufai administration or whose funding was secured by that administration. This includes the forensic lab and some projects funded by development loans, like the construction of 6 science secondary schools, Islamic Development Bank, reconstruction and expansion of secondary school under the Adolescent Girl Initiative of Learning and Empowerment, for short AGILE, of the World Bank, revamping and equipping of 290 primary health care centers, World Bank P4R, or loans secured by the El-Rufai administration but disbursed to the state after its exit, like the Rural Access and Agricultural Marketing Project, RAM. How can the Kaduna State House of Assembly claim that the loans were not properly utilized when the projects for which they were obtained are the only things the current administration can showcase? It is neither logical nor credible to disclaim a ridicule loan taking while basking in the project paid for by those same loans. What the current administration in the state is doing is to enjoy the continuity of revenues from loans without acknowledging the government that negotiated and secured them. Rather, the current government has reserved nothing but insults and needless demonization for an administration to which it owes a lot of gratitude. The government of Malam Nasir El-Rufai inherited external debt of USD 234 million in 2015. It followed due process in securing all its loans, and the testimony of Aminu Shagali, who was Speaker between June 2015 and early 2020, confirms this. To enhance delivery of its progressive governance agenda for Kaduna State, the El-Rufai administration approached the World Bank for credit. The board of the World Bank approved the credit in June 2017 as a performance for result credit of United States dollars 250 million. The conditions for the grant of this credit were entirely performance-driven. Kaduna State is so far the only subnational in Nigeria that has received this kind of credit. This World Bank credit was disbursed under the Kaduna State Economic Transformation Performance for Result, P4R. It was structured to support Kaduna State to implement reforms to improve the business enabling environment and strengthen fiscal management and accountability in Kaduna State. The program was designed to run from 2017 to 2021. Disbursement of the loan was in tranches, tied to satisfactory performance in attaining clear milestones, which are the results, called Disbursement Link Indicators, DLIs. The DLIs were the performance benchmark to which specific tranches of disbursement were linked. The funds were disbursed only after the benchmark had been met. To ascertain that the DLIs had been attained, the El-Rufai administration selected PwC, a world-class firm certification agent, to serve as the independent verification agent. Given a careful stewardship of the El-Rufai administration, Kaduna State made DLIs and received the full loan in tranches. A performance for result credit is a budget support loan which ties disbursement of funds to successful attainment of performance benchmarks. It rewards the recipient for things adjudged already accomplished, leaving the recipient the freedom to make its spending choices through budgetary appropriation for funds so disbursed. A P4R loan differs from a project-tied loan, which funds the delivery of a specific project. This important distinction escaped the ad hoc committee, which questioned officials as if the World Bank P4R was a project-tied loan and refused to be educated by testimonies that explain to the contrary. Disbursement of the World Bank P4R loan was done between 2019 and 2021. This loan helped fund, among other progressive attainments, the over-renewal program the El-Rufai government undertook in the cities of Kaduna, Kafanchan, and Zaria. Some projects of the over-renewal program were commissioned by President Muhammadu Buhari in January 2022. The ad hoc committee exposed its pitiable ignorance about special drawing rights, SDR, a unit of account used in transaction by international development finance agencies. Monies denominated as XDR can be exchanged for a few international currencies like the United States dollar. In the report, the ad hoc committee lists two alleged 2017 disbursements of the World Bank credit as SDRs, and then lists another World Bank credit of United States dollar of 350 million, which was disbursed to the state between 2019 and 2021. The ad hoc committee stated that the due process was not followed in securing the 2027 disbursements, but that the 2019 did not. In their confusion and ignorance, they ended up counting disbursement under the same World Bank loans twice. The committee chose to pretend not to be aware that although the World Bank credit became effective in 2017, illegal hold-offs. Okay. The ad hoc committee exposed its pitiable ignorance about special drawing rights, SDR, a unit of account used in transaction by international development finance agencies. Monies denominated as SDR can be exchanged for a few international currencies like the United States dollar. In the report, the ad hoc committee lists two alleged 2017 disbursements of the World Bank credit as SDRs, and then lists another World Bank credit of 250 million United States dollars, which was disbursed to the state between 2019 and 2021. The ad hoc committee stated that due process was followed in securing the 2017 disbursement, but that the 2019 did not. In their confusion and ignorance, they ended up counting disbursement under the same World Bank loan twice. The committee chose to pretend not to be aware that although the World Bank credit became effective in 2017, illegal hold-offs at the Senate delayed the commencement of disbursements until 2019. It was the struggle to secure commencement of disbursement of this well-earned loan that propelled Obasani, the political advisor to former Governor Nasir El-Rufai in the first term, to the Senate in 2019. Despite the unnecessary two-year delay, the World Bank Economic Transformation Program for results for Kaduna State closed as scheduled in 2021. The independent verification agent report issued by PwC in December 2021 confirmed that the El-Rufai administration met all the targets for the disbursement link indicators. At completion, the World Bank rated the implementation as satisfactory. In addition, the El-Rufai administration secured that exchange gain revenues of 40 billion naira from the World Bank loan flowed into the treasury of the Kaduna State government between 2019 to 2022. We ensured that that loan, that interest element was recorded in our budget, and same was acknowledged by the House. Exaggeration of loans and attribution of loans not disbursed. The number of loans listed in the report as having been contracted and the amounts allegedly disbursed prior to May 2023 are exaggerated. Some loans were negotiated and agreed as part of the aspirations for the progress and development of the state. However, disbursement of several of these loans listed in the report, pages 112 to 116, had not commenced by the time of the exit of the El-Rufai administration in May 2023. These include $280 million loan for Rural Assets and Agricultural Marketing Project RAM, $150 million loan is alleged to have been received from the African Development Bank for the Kaduna Special Agro-Processing Zone, SAPZ. The El-Rufai government is justly proud of the planning and hard work its team of officials did to ensure that Kaduna State made first list of states selected for the SAPZs. However, African Development Bank had not commenced disbursement of the loan by May 2023. Contrary to the report, it is the French Development Agency, not the African Development Bank, that provided the $130,700,000 loan for the Kaduna Bus Rapid Transport System. The El-Rufai government negotiated and signed this loan, but not a cent was disbursed to the state before the administration's exit. The Kaduna BRT project has been designed and its financing arranged and is only waiting to be actualized by any administration that understands the necessity to modernize mass transit in the state. $20 million United States loan for the Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support, LPRES, project was not disbursed prior to May 2023. Not a cent of the $62.8 million Reaching Out of School Children project funds were disbursed prior to May 29 May 2023. The report also listed some loans as fully disbursed while they were only partly disbursed during El-Rufai administration. This include only $2 million was received by the Kaduna State government for the agro-climatic resilience, semi-arid landscape, ACRISAL, prior to May 2023, all of which was left intact for the successor government, ascribing $494,600,000 SDR as the amount disbursed to the state, as the report does, merely continues the pattern of patent falsehood. Only $23.88 million was received for Agile as of May 2023, not the $280 million stated in the report. As of December 2022, Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment, Agile, had funded major renovations in 110 schools and minor rehabilitations of 550 others. The initiative had also financed the accelerated implementation of life skills program in 19 senior secondary schools. At the December 2022 implementation support mission to states participating in Agile, Kaduna was declared as the best state in two components: renovation and evaluation. Renovation and monitoring and evaluation, sorry. The state also received an award as the most innovative in project implementation. SDR 352,855 was disbursed to the state in June 2023 for the Sustainable Urban and Rural Water Sanitation and Hygiene, SOWASH program. the report falsely put the disbursement at 494 million SDR. $7.11 million was disbursed to Kaduna State by May 2023, not $16.86 million cited in the report for the Accelerating Nutrition Results in Nigeria project. The primary objective of this project is to increase the utilization of quality, cost-effective nutrition services for pregnant and lactating women, adolescent girls, and children under 2 years across the 23 local government areas in the state. The state partnered with contracted non-state actors in the nutrition sector to achieve the set targets of the project. A February 2023 memo from the Ministry of Health shows that Kaduna State received 6 national awards for implementation of IREN, including Most Innovative, Best Performing State Partner, Mapping and Coordination, Best Performing State Fiduciary, and Best Performing State Safeguards. The 10.5 billion naira loan for the Damo Milk Farm project was being properly expended on delivering the projects until the current government of Kaduna State froze the project account, which had a balance of about 4.8 billion naira in June 2023. The Damo project is one with far-reaching implications for national security that reflects the El-Rufai administration decision to adopt a business-driven approach to modernize the livestock sector, improve security, and resolve violent farmer and herder clashes by sedentarizing nomadic farmers. The state government chose to partner with Arla, a global dairy giant, in the project for which almost 10,000 hectares was earmarked and 1,000 beneficiaries identified from across 6 local governments in Kaduna State. The division of responsibility entailed Kaduna State providing cattle, pasture, and housing for livestock farmers in a ranch that has schools, health facilities, and other social amenities. Arla was to serve as off-taker of the milk produced by the farmers settled in the ranch and contribute through 3 milking fallows and 3 milking collection centers to Kaduna State government's farm. In addition, the farmers who were to be taught modern husbandry skills at the Allah demonstration farm, the Kaduna Markets, another state-owned enterprise whose specialty is in property development and facility management, was saddled with the establishment and takeoff of the company. That was the point of 10.5 billion naira loan taken from the Commercial Agriculture Credit Scheme of the CBN in partnership with UBA. Kaduna Markets was executing the project with oversight from CBN, UBA, and Kaduna State government until the dedicated project account was frozen by current state government in June 2023. It is telling that Arla is investing over $150 million and is already running the demonstration farm it built in Damo, while its partner, state government, is demonizing dedicated officials who worked hard on delivering its own part of the partnership. The ad hoc committee claims that 95% of the 10.5 billion naira Damo loan was diverted. Yet, nowhere did the report contradict the testimony of Tamar Nandur that the project account had a balance of over 4.8 billion naira as of June 2023. If this project is allowed to fail, responsibility cannot be ascribed to the El-Rufai administration, given the clear record of the work its officials did to deliver it. The ad hoc committee's willful blindness to recognize the massive foreign direct investment made by Arla in Davao because of the El-Rufai administration's decision to build this modern ranch is part of the pattern of ignoring facts while flying off their demonization script. The script includes falsely accusing officials of the El-Rufai administration of diverting project funds that are currently in the possession of Kaduna State government. That is why the ad hoc committee chose to stick with its predetermined conclusion in the face of clear facts provided by the former officials of Kaduna Market Development and Management Company on the status of the project. All loans incurred by the El-Rufai administration are within the approved debt threshold. Even the debt sustainability report prepared by the current administration of the state in November 2023 attests to this. So much for loans and the ad hoc committee willful blindness to see or acknowledge the uses for which the loans were put to, and their futile attempt to saddle the El-Rufai administration with loans that were not disbursed to the state during its tenure. 20 billion naira contract finance facility. The 20 billion naira contractual finance facility was not a loan taken to the state government, but to the contractors. Under the agreement with the bank, the state government bears the interest payment on the facility, which is a better option than applying the section of the public procurement law which allows contractor to be paid with interest in the event of failure by government to pay them within 30 days. The structure of the facility thus enables contractors to get liquidity to progress delivery on projects and avoided previous experiences where government accounts were garnished due to outstanding payments. This facility was an administrative arrangement which does not require any resolution from the Kaduna State House of Assembly. Abandoned contracts. It is the choice of the current government to continue to execute inherited projects or to deny them of the resources required to completion, in which case it will bear the responsibility for stalling or abandoning them. Contractors who were in credit position with the Kaduna State government due to payments received on account continue to actively progress their works for months after the exit of the El-Rufai administration. Between November 2023 and May 2024, many contractors gradually reduced their site activities to a skeletal scale or left their sites due to the failure of the new administration to meet its contractual obligation to them. Not only were payments suspended or stopped, but other responsibilities of government in driving the projects were no longer being met. The current administration has abandoned some of the inherited projects and constrained contractors to demobilize from project sites, a scenario that could have been avoided. To declare a project abandoned when you are no longer funding it can only be an accurate statement if you say that as the client, you have decided to abandon it. There is a loud silence in the report about the CBN Anchor Borrowers Program, in which Kaduna State was perhaps the state with the largest quantum of borrowing. Who are the beneficiaries? Why is the House of Assembly neither interested in nor curious about it? When Malam Ibrahim Hussaini, a former Commissioner of Agriculture, testified on 7th May 2024, he was questioned about Anchor Borrowers Program, and he submitted an affidavit to the House of Assembly. Curiously, His name does not appear on the list of witnesses, and his testimony is omitted in the report. Did his testimony contain certain inconvenient facts that the ad hoc committee chose to steer clear? We have previously noted that the House of Assembly took no care to avoid bias and conflicts of interest. Some of its members partook in investigating government agencies with which they are having or have had business dealings or tax-related issues, or in adopting recommendations on the same. Let's give two examples. Honorable Dahir Liman Yusuf, the Speaker of Kaduna State House of Assembly, was investigated by Kaduna State Internal Revenue Service, which froze some of his personal accounts for having billions in untaxed and unexplained income. He is also involved in a public-private partnership with Kaduna Markets to develop a neighborhood center over which he has had differences with the management of Kaduna Markets. Despite this obvious conflict, he presided at the House of Assembly session that adopted the ad hoc committee's recommendation that the former chairman of Cadres and the former managing director of Kaduna Markets be referred for further investigation. Honorable Barrister Mahmoud Lawal Ismail, a member of the ad hoc committee, listed as number 5 on page 3 of the report, who has proved to be very vocal in condemning Governor Nasir El-Rufai, is also a biological brother of Governor Obasani. We have once again drawn attention to the glaring evidence of the hatchet job that passes for the report and the ad hoc committee. It oozes malice and patent unfairness and raises the question why a House of Assembly that arranged extensive media coverage of its adoption of the report has refused to provide certified true copies of the same report more than a month after. It cannot be a reasonable assumption on their part that we will meekly accept this breach of fundamental rights or cower in the face of this premeditated assault on our reputations.